Have you ever heard that it's all in your head? I have, too many times. So let me put this into context. You're going to the doctor with a list of symptoms that makes you crazy, only to hear that your test results are fine. It's all in your head, right? So today I'm going to tell you about one of the most difficult cases I had to solve, which was mine. None of the doctors and specialists from 3 different countries managed to solve it, but each of them gave me a piece of the puzzle. And this was what was important. But before we delve into the case, I'm going to tell you who I am. Today I'm a French holistic healer and a former engineer. Why is it important? Because I really love solving puzzles, and my health was the biggest puzzle of all. The more I understand, the more data I have, the better I can help. It all goes down to puzzle solving. Today I have more than 20 years of experience in heavy metals and Candida infection. That really goes hand in hand with heavy metal and urinary tract infection. So now let's go back 20 to 25 years ago, a long time ago in France, and it's not another galaxy, but it may be for some of you. With the first chronic fatigue. I was so fatigued just after my bachelor degree, and I didn't understand why. I also had some outbreaks of yeast infection that were attributed to stress, and muscle pain, mostly upper back, that was also attributed to stress, so I was sent to a physiotherapist. The muscle pain didn't go away. After that came a big herpes crisis in the mouth that prevented me from eating for 10 days, and chronic angina that was much later diagnosed as mononucleosis. You can see that many of those symptoms revolve around the mouth. But most of all, what really killed me was that bone deep fatigue. I was so tired. These symptoms came with some weight gain and sensitivity to light. And I visited a doctor in 2004 that I never visited before, and she said, maybe you have an issue with your thyroid. So she made a blood test and it was confirmed. She gave me some standard thyroxine like many people have, and it gave me a little relief on the fatigue, but not so much. Then I moved to Norway, and in Norway the health is considered a bit differently. It's very holistic. They consider all symptoms. And in Norway I declared some gum pain, so you see, still in the mouth. And I went to a specialist that made a root treatment, and it was so painful. My God, it hurt like hell. I had a little relief from the pain and constant inflammation in my gums, but it wasn't enough, and I didn't understand why. I also still was seeing a physiotherapist, and they said, I'm going to try acupuncture on your upper back contractors. And that poor guy, it failed. Spectacularly, it failed. And they said, I don't understand. Every time I put a needle, your muscles seem to be cramping reverse to what I'm trying to have. And they said, maybe you have fibromyalgia. So I was there with hypothyroidism and probably fibromyalgia. But the only issue is there is no cure for those. There was no cure. And the social repercussions were getting really heavy. My family and my friends, they started saying, you're always sick, you can't eat anything, because I had declared an allergy to gluten and milk proteins. You're a hypochondriac. This was the best, honestly. This hurt me so deeply. I really lost friends over this, and I wouldn't have minded losing a few members of my family as well. The doctors, they weren't so helpful. They say, it's in your head, you need to see a psychologist, and you're not that sick. Look around you, some people are way more sick than you are, so work it through and push through and go back to work, please. So here we were with this fibromyalgia issue, and no real diagnostic and no solution. So I went hunting for the root cause. At 25 only, I had hypothyroidism, fibromyalgia, recurrent urinary tract infection, gingivitis, gluten and milk allergies. And I said, it's not possible at 25, without any family diseases, to be so broken down that there is no root cause in there. So I made research, and I found out that many of those symptoms corresponded to heavy metals. It sent me on that lead. So I went to my doctor in Norway, and she said, yeah, that's interesting, but I know nothing about it. Let's find out. So the answer was in Germany. I tried to make a mobilization test with DMPS medication, which is a chelator, and then they measure in the urine all those metals that you see on the right. The results were overwhelming. I had so high levels of mercury, of nickel, silver and arsenic. The solution that was offered was a chemical chelation with DMPS. And unfortunately, after a while, I became allergic, so much that the doctor that treated me, he didn't even want to answer the phone. He just said, just drop it. So I went to Denmark because there is a good specialist in Denmark, and he said, you're not allergic to DMPS. You are actually mobilizing so much metal when you take them that it overflows your body, and it goes through your hands and it goes through your skin, and it breaks things. You shouldn't take this because it is too violent for your body. He gave me penicillamine, which is much less efficient, but it's a good alternative. In his clinic as well, I had my dental fillings removed, and he gave me an intravene every time I had it, so it wouldn't overflow my system. This doctor is very competent, and he said, you have a typical signature of amalgam fillings, because I had so much metal in my mouth for 20 years that I actually integrated them into my body. Unfortunately, my body is not genetically efficient to remove those heavy metals, so they accumulated in my organs. So after this treatment, I was starting to feel better, especially in my back muscles, but I was still so very tired. So I tried many natural alternatives, and they all went to the same results, which was the fatigue was still there, but I was feeling better from the heavy metal. I went to a micronutritionist in France that told me, this is the reason why you're still tired. Your chelation is taking minerals out of you. Some minerals are not good for you, like mercury and arsenic and nickel, but the others, like zinc and copper, they are essential to your functioning. And this mineral loss will create an immune system deficiency. And the more you chelate, and the more you lose all your minerals. And in the end, it creates the perfect conditions for a Candida infection. And this is this Candida infection that makes you so very tired. That was so very interesting. So he gave me plenty of supplements to take, and I was getting better. I was really getting better, but each time I would stop those supplements, I will relapse. And the reason why is because heavy metals and Candida are codependent, and this is something I understood much later. So the micronutritionist, he gave me pieces of the puzzle, and it was both right and wrong at the same time, because he said you cannot chelate if you're still so low in minerals, but if I don't chelate, I keep my Candida. So at this point I was stuck, and my chance is that my husband is an energy healer, so he said maybe I can help you. And it really, really helped. We went through trial and error for several years, especially on the UTI, and it really helped me clean my bladder and remove the pain and inflammation. So we decided that next we would attack the Candida, and guess what? He managed. He removed the Candida in places the antifungal couldn't reach, especially between organs and the bladder and the spine. I had Candida in my spine because I have heavy metal in my spine, and the Candida was clinging to it, and no antifungal, systemic or otherwise, can reach it. But he managed. He also removed all this bacteria. So now I'm Candida free and urinary tract infection free, and I couldn't stress what relief it brought to me. This is actually a really big breakthrough for us. He also managed to soothe my leaky gut by removing inflammation, and he reboosted my energy levels. It was really a life changer. It was the moment where I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. So we decided that we should make something out of this, because energy treatment and micronutrition together, they really solve that puzzle. It's our real solution. Energy healing is reducing inflammation and the pain. It will kill Candida, reboost energy level, and also fish out every energetic and psychological causes. It cannot solve them, but it will give you the right lead. On the other hand, I still use micronutrition and phytotherapy to restore vitamin levels, to keep the immune system bright, to boost morale and reduce stress level, to repair the gut lining and reboost thyroid. So now we've created a program out of this, regrouping all the expertise and research from the past 20 years, including energy treatments. It is dedicated to heavy metals. It is a year-long program because it takes time for a body to handle chelations in optimal health. The first step is determine with an energy scan if you have heavy metals and to localize them. Then there are 8 cycles of each 6 weeks, each of them with energy healing and appointments to renew vitamin and phytotherapy protocols. I strongly encourage you to take a look at the webpage that details the energy scan and the full program. Don't hesitate to benefit from our expertise. What I want to say really is, if you're struggling with symptoms that no one seems to understand, I know exactly how that feels. That's why we created this dual approach, to help you find the answers. Let us decode your health together. Take the leap and contact us.